Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, good afternoon, but good job, most importantly, to me, who just saved Lawrence's ass by unlooping the intro video. Good job, Spencer Love.
I saw it 2 seconds, like about 5 seconds before, and honestly, I thought I did it.
5 seconds before, but
I would have been fine. It would have been fine.
No, it wouldn't have been fine. It would have been fine, but it is finer because I am here. But it's even finer because we've got Elle Santos here. We've got professional wrestling coming in halfway through the show's time. But most importantly, thank you for tuning in right off the start. If you're just tuning in, throw us a like, hammer that subscribe button, all the cool stuff that all of the cool kids are doing. It helps bumps us up the algorithm, and it lets you know when we're going live throughout the week, like we were last night for TNA's Hard to Kill Reacts, like we will be on Thursdays, Saturdays. The meantime and the in-between time, as a famous Albertan said, welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. Lots of energy this morning. Maybe I should start like going and running with my dog. Who would have thought that like exercise was good for mental health, hey? Lawrence, how you doing, friend? It's good to see you, stud.
I'm doing fine, a little tired. Had fun last night watching some TNA and talking about it with friends. How you doing?
I'm good. It was a hell of a show last night, man.
Yeah.
I was really, really excited about it. Impact/TNA, I think, has been putting on great PLEs, PPVs, whatever you want to call them. But, man, really, really great kickstart to the new era of TNA. Blair, Grainmaker,
Hey.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I just answered the question, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad habit,
supposed to do?
okay? It's a bad habit. Just like Ed Sheeran songs. Bad habits.
Is that an Ed Sheeran song?
I think it is.
I'm not familiar
hoping
with
it is.
Ed Sheeran.
It's a song, right? Yeah, it is. Mrs. Grainmaker confirmed.
I'm gonna let you handle this one.
Yeah,
Mike and Omar, Dustin. Omar, I'll send you the link here when I finish my little intro spiel. Because we've got an excellent guest today, an individual making their ring announcing debut on February 4th, and perhaps the best named ring announcer in the business, Elle Santo, joining us. It's good to see you, friend. I haven't had the chance to chat with you like face to face, I think, since I was out in Montreal last year. So wonderful to see you, Home Slice. It is less than a month away from a great debut from the Women's Wrestling Syndicate. It's great to see you. How are you doing? Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. We're great. We're good. We're shoveling cars out of the streets. It's a snowy disaster in Montreal. Start my morning cold, fresh, feeling awake, feeling good.
How cold is it over in Montreal right now? I bet you we've got you beat.
Oh, it's not too cold. It's just the amount of snow in the streets. Like I was telling the boys before, the whole neighborhood is out. Everyone's pushing each other's cars out. Everyone's shoveling, pouring. Like it's a beautiful disaster. Like the whole community is out taking care of each other. We hate to see it, but we love to see it.
Completely fair. Blair, how are you doing?
It's like
minus 36 over here for reference. So
minus 33 with the wind chill. So
God damn.
it's
game
not as
over,
bad.
man.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do now?
If you're wondering, I still went to the gym wearing just my shorts today and not pants because I am an idiot, and that's just what I do. So.
Blair, you're handsome, but that was not a handsome and smart decision.
I need to get some new comfortable sweatpants is what I need.
Look, they ain't sponsored, but I will say this Kirkland hoodie and this Kirkland pants. The full tracksuit today is certainly doing old Spencer love well. Let us know how you're doing. Mike from Indeed, good to see you in the chat as well. Friends, lots to chat about. TNA Hard to Kill. This Rock fella came back over the last couple of weeks that we didn't dive into. But most importantly, we got a guest here, like I said, with an exciting, part of a new exciting promotion out in Quebec, the Women's Wrestling Syndicate. Their first show is February 4th, but I'm not going to sell it nearly as well as you are, Elle. So just give me a little bit of background. I don't know when you were approached with it or sort of anything from there, but obviously about a month ago, the announcement came out that they were going to be running their first event. So take me through your experience, how you came to find out and how you came to be involved.
So let me give you the whole backstory. So Lou Fisto, not just a Quebec legend, but a legend across Canada, the US, Japan, just one of the four mothers of wrestling. What a fucking legend. This is her brainchild. This is her baby. This is her project that she's always wanted to do. So with the backing of IWS, they've come together to put together the WWS. So when Lou was putting together her card, who was going to be a part of it, who was going to be on her team, they needed a female ring announcer. Now, I say this with pride. I'm nobody. Like, I am a nobody in the wrestling community. Like, I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a
now, I was Googling Elle Santo before this, and apparently it's a pretty big name.
There's like a museum about me in Mexico, but that's like, that was like the old me. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't do anything. Like, I'm a proud person who does nothing. These are my friends. Like, these are people that I love and I care about, and I go to their shows. And my dog just walked in the room. In case you guys didn't notice, I'm at the IWS dojo. That is where I am today. So we've got a gaggle of wrestlers in the other room. My dog is here. It's a whole party. So I lost my train of thought. It's just there's so much going on. But
okay.
Yeah, like I don't do anything besides support the guys. Like whenever they put on a show, you need someone to pick up Suzuki at the airport. Erica's gonna go get Suzuki at the airport. Like you need someone to shuttle Jay White around. Okay, well Erica's gonna do it because Erica's our trusted friend that knows wrestling but isn't cringe. You know
Excellently put. Yo, yeah.
You don't want to send a Mark who's been like training for 6 months to go pick up the boys. Actually, that's a bit disingenuous to myself. I do a lot of the press with them as well. I try to get IWS in newspapers, on the radio, TV spots, and I have a blast doing that. My background is in media and public relations, so I try to use those connections to get people's eyes on IWS to see the really good work they do. And I've really been pushing the women's division. I know I've spoken to Blair about this a little earlier in 2023, just how amazing the women's division is and what kind of talent we have in Montreal. I know people always think of Montreal as a hockey city, but if you really look at the history of Canadian wrestling, and the same thing out west, my goodness, there is such a history of great wrestling happening in Montreal. Mm-hmm. You know, like from the 1920s onward, all we do is produce amazing talent. And I want people to see that, you know, like I know it's an underground kind of, you know, rough and tumble scene, but there is something amazing going on here. And what I try to do is get mainstream eyes on it. And we've done some pretty good stuff in the last year. I've been really proud. And especially for the women, I got a couple good articles circulating in Montreal about them. And so when Lou approached superstar Shane Hawk about starting this project, he's the one that vouched for me. He said, you guys should get Erica. You know, she should be, if there's someone that's going to be a mouthpiece for you, it should be, my real name is Erica. Like but, and Shane helped me come up with this name. It's just so perfect. You know, the Elle, right? We're in Montreal. It's a very French city. Elle is the French word for she, for her. Elle Santo, I mean, the joke is there. And my last name, half of it is Santo. So all of it just comes together in like such a beautiful, serendipitous way. So here we are. Elle Santo is working with Lou Fisto. Who would have freaking thought on this, like basically the dream project, you know, like showing the world how amazing women's wrestling is. Like when you give women the place, the platform, the space to show how amazing they are, this is what you get. You get this kind of amazing collaboration. And the show coming up on February 4th, we're really excited for it. It's standing room only. It's rough and tumble. We want it to feel like a mosh pit. We want it to have the energy of when you go to like an underground punk show, but on a Sunday afternoon with the gals. So that's the type of energy I am going to be bringing to this show. We're going to get caught in a mosh. It's the last damn thing I do.
Nicely tied, Mike. Oh, wow. We got a lot of friends wanting to chat here with Elle Santo. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you, Omar. I was going to ask, though, because you mentioned there's just a great women's scene out there in Quebec. Obviously, you mentioned Fisto been killing for about 20 years. But, man, you look now, Katrina Creed, Danny Leo, Melanie Havoc. Like, there's so many great women's wrestlers out there. Just maybe speak to the scene right now out there because, man, it's always been great, but I really think in Canadian wrestling as a whole, but women's wrestling in Montreal, like it's hit a whole new level over the last little bit.
Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And the way I always describe these women is they're the girls I wish I had to look up to when I was growing up. I've always loved wrestling my whole life. And, you know, I loved the divas. Of course, they were like these beautiful, fabulous, glamorous women, but they didn't particularly look like the average person. You know what I mean? Like it was very Playboy, it was very sexualized. And so it kind of made me feel like, well, I guess pro wrestling isn't really for me. And now I look at what women's wrestling has become, and it's just the most beautiful mix of people. And when you look at the IWS roster, like these are the girls I wish I had to look up to. And I know that I want young girls to come watch wrestling and feel like this is a place for them. This is a place where they have, you know, people that they can look up to that are positive influences. And where WWS really makes a difference is, so like an IWS card, right? Like we can only get 8 to 10 matches in a night. It's mixed. We have the men's division as well. So there aren't, as much as we'd love to have more women, there just isn't space to do all of this. So where WWS is such a great asset is we're putting them all on the show. We can get women from other regions of Quebec. Montreal, you know, Montreal is a bit of a clique. That's how big cities are. But with this, we're able to bring people in from outside of the big city and show the city crowd, this is the kind of talent that's in Quebec. So it's exciting. And there's a lot of girls here that I haven't even met yet. And I'm so excited to make more girlfriends. I mean, isn't that what this is all about? It's not about the wrestling show, but the friends we made along the way.
We just want to do dope shit with our friends. Elle Santo, the ring announcer, is one of the minds behind the Women's Wrestling Syndicate. Guys, ask some more questions. I can talk all day, but people get sick of my gosh dang voice. I get sick of my voice. Hi, Mike. I know you had Firefox muted.
Hey,
I was trying to vamp for you.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you. No, you talked about like it gives an opportunity to bring people in from like outside the Montreal area, and I wanted to say like my homie from Cambridge, like Crossbody Pro Wrestling regular, Laurel Cassidy. She's debuting for WWS on that show. I'm super stoked for her getting out there. I know she comes out to IWS like a lot just to check out shows and stuff already anyway.
Yeah, she's done a couple of those. We've been doing these no ring. That's really like rough and tumble.
Those have been a blast.
Oh my god, they're hilarious. Ask Lawrence. You've never seen a girl yell so much in her life. They're like, please don't touch the wrestlers. I'm like antagonizing them. I'm like poking Stephen Maines. I do everything you're not supposed to do. But yeah, so Laurel's been at a couple of those shows, and she's tough as shit. Like, she looks like Rainbow Bright, but she's fucking tough as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll beat your ass.
JPJ, Mark, good to see you guys in the chat. If you guys have questions, comments, hopefully not concerns. Usually if there are, they're for me. But if you got anything you want to ask, we got some time with Elle Santo. She is at the IWS dojo. I mean, let's expand it even further, man, because obviously the IWS making history for decades. But talk to me about what they've been doing over the last little bit, whether it's on the training end, whether it's been their shows. Like, they've been changing the game out there in Quebec for decades, but again, it's been to another level over the last little bit.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So this year is the 25-year anniversary of IWS's inception. Like, me and IWS are basically the same age, which is crazy. But yeah, so of course, 25-year anniversary show is going to be a big one. Manny, you guys know PCP Crazy Manny. That's his government name.
Yeah.
Big fan.
That guy just has like the craziest brain. Like, between him and superstar Shane Hawk, they're the two, like, you know, the core of the company. They pull things out that, like, oh my god, like, how did you keep the secret? Like, where did you guys come up with this? If you guys remember last March when we did that show with GCW, like, they threw Manny off a balcony, and now he's like dead set on doing something crazier than that. Like, dude, yes.
I would love it. I'm sure everybody on the internet's going to react as positively to that as they did last March.
Yeah,
oh my god. Yeah, last spring people were really angry at IWS.
Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks. It was great.
Yep. Yeah, sexy Eddie got it for the Toronto Moonsault, right?
People were mad at, like, how do you get mad at Sexy Eddie? The guy's a golden retriever. Like, if you don't get it, just walk away, you know?
Yeah.
And he killed me, like, oh, you're doing this for a hot dog and a handshake. Like, Manny owns the company. Like, the guy can have as many hot dogs as he wants, you know?
I will.
Y'all know how many people can fit into l'Olympia?
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that you have a surprise for us.
Oh, I certainly do. Let me make a quick phone call.
Okay.
Oh, I like surprises.
Yeah.
I've been a surprise person before.
It's what happens when we get here beforehand, and we're the first two here.
Look! Okay, so it's minus 36 Celsius, which I actually learned yesterday. Minus 40 Fahrenheit and Celsius is where it like equals out. So I have to walk my dog in basically minus 40 Fahrenheit as well for all you American friends out there. So I'm very fortunate that I've got
I'm so busy. I'm gonna replace myself with a special guest.
Okay. I'm always concerned about
Hi there.
Hey.
Lufisto! How you doing, homie? It is good to see you. I haven't seen you. The last time we chatted, like, face to face, you were out here for an RCW show. This must have been, like 2-3 years ago. How you been? Are you caught up on Canada's Drag Race since the last time we chatted? Have you had a chance to catch up on Canada's Drag Race since I last saw you?
Oh yeah, I'm
Good.
I
Okay,
saw
good.
everything. I'm up to date now. I'm on season 16 of RuPaul, episode 2. I'm like right there.
That's what I like to hear, friend. But of course, burying the lead, congratulations, the Women's Wrestling Syndicate. You're less than a month away. Like, I know it's got to be a huge, different amount of emotions, but like, how are you feeling? As generally as I can put that.
Like right now, I'm like super excited. Today we're at the dojo, and I'm gonna work with Erica on our announcing, so that's gonna be cool. And also, we're building up our entrance right now, and with
Cool.
the logo on top, and it's really a day where we're trying to see where we're gonna put everything. And yeah, really excited. We're just like starting to build the setting right now, and we're like, oh my god, this is so cool, this is so cool. Like, yeah, I'm really excited.
What was it about now that made you finally decide? Because you've obviously been part of shows for 20 years, whether it's helping produce or working them or everything in between, but like, this is the first time you've really taken the jump and put Lufisto's brand on a promotion. So what made now the time for you?
I think it's a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of still being crazy, and I think it's the realization of, I've always thought that once, like, well, I always made myself believe that once I was done with wrestling, it would be over. But I just think I realized that it's in me. I love this way too much, and I love shows, you know, whatever. If it's being an agent or helping or whatever, I love it as much as being in the ring myself. So it's just like, I have to do something once I'm done. And I'm like a very creative person. Like, I'm a graphic designer, and it's like, yeah, I just felt the time was right. And I felt that the girls needed that place where they can go and call it home. And I don't know, like, yeah, I felt like I could bring so much more to just being in the ring, and yeah, let my creative ideas flow, and yeah, everything up like all together, and thought about it. And when IWS like mentioned that, when I knew they were on my side, then I knew I would be okay. And I've been spending a lot of money now, but I know with IWS as my partners, like, I feel safe. So it was the good people to do it with, and maybe that's what I needed. And with IWS, I know it's going to be great.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, like right now, independent wrestling it's on another level. I mean, you were here in Winnipeg wrestling in front of 1,000 fans this past fall, which is, you know, if you would have thought back 10 years ago, unimaginable. And what I love about this is the opportunity for so many wrestlers to get a chance to show what they can do on this show. I mean, because I mean, a lot of us have heard of, you know, Chris Starr, we've heard of Katrina Creed, we've heard of these wrestlers, but now even more wrestlers who might not get that opportunity are going to get the chance. And that's what I love about this.
For sure. You know, the Canadian girls are front and center, and I'm bringing people from, I got some girls from Ontario. I got some girls from New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And I mean, eventually I want to bring, I got girls from the United States that really want to come. So I want to make sure the Canadian girls have that exposure, and they also have that chance to wrestle other people. Because usually in a territory, you always wrestle the same people. And to feel kind of fulfilled in wrestling, you need to push your limits. And you can't do that if you wrestle the same people over and over. And so that way, like even this show, I made sure that the Quebec girls are not necessarily wrestling, you know, the usual girls they're wrestling on shows here. Like, I made sure that, like, just announced, like, Chantal is going to be working, Laurel Cassidy's from Ontario, and, you know, just as an example. And there's going to be other matches announced soon that you'll see. It's one girl from here, from one girl from outside of the province. I want the girls to feel, and I welcome like all ideas, like, or when I say ideas, I was like, don't dictate me your booking, but tell me I would love to wrestle this girl. I've never wrestled this girl. I want to make sure like new matches and new opponents, and So the girls are having fun and they learn, like learning at the same time here is very important. So I'm gonna put like the match that I announced today. It's Mary Lee Rose and Angie Sky versus Leah Sparks and Sam Kelly. They're two new girls against veterans. So one, I'll know they'll be safe if something happens. It's a clash of style, two petite, kind of more like technical, high flying versus two bullies like with size and power. But they're going to be with someone who can guide them, who can teach them. So once they're done with the show, they'll have a little bit more baggage.
I love that.
Friends, we've got Lufisto here. Surprise. A heck of a one.
Yeah, I'm not going to
say
speak
so
too long
myself.
because the star of the show today is Miss Elle Santo.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. If you've got some questions, questions, get them in, whether you're on screen or in the chat. But Lufisto here, and thank you for the time as much as you have. Mike, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
So I'll let you with the hosts of Women's Wrestling Syndicate. They're great. Fucking. See you guys.
Thank you, Lufisto. Take care. We'll wait for the transition back. Good to see you, Elle. Thank you. A heck of a surprise. I appreciate it.
Wasn't that
So
fun?
good.
I just love her. She's so good.
You're so dang good to us, friend. Omar, finally able to join us. Sorry about your internet issues there, friend.
I swear to God, my internet is like Kevin Dunn's camera work, man. I swear to God, I literally had to go to the router.
It's everywhere.
I had to literally go to the router and then just go in and out. Like, Mr. Bean's Holidays. I don't know if you've seen that movie where like, you had to put the camera in and out. It was literally what I was doing. I was like a goddamn boomer, man. Yeah.
Well, we got there. We're glad to see you. Elle, thank you once again, friend. What can we expect coming up on February 4th? I know it's going to be a great night of professional wrestling, but there's lots of great events going on throughout Canada. So the Women's Wrestling Syndicate's debut, what maybe can you give us as far as a little insider information or what we can expect there on February 4th?
I think the greatest thing about indie wrestling is the energy you feel in the room when you're there. There's something about it. It doesn't quite translate on TV. You could try, but it's not quite there. So I think having this whole room filled with women who are so hungry to be there is going to be the greatest part of it. Like, everyone is giving their absolute all. They know that this is a big opportunity, and we're all really lucky to have Lufisto like running this like train, like spearheading this project. To have her backing is such a big deal for those girls. I'm just here to help elevate everyone, but for those girls, it's such an amazing opportunity, and I'm so happy that it's like the timing is just perfect. I think the whole combination of everything together is going to come to fruition on February 4th. Everyone's hard work, all the excitement, the passion, you can feel it. It's palpable in the air. Like, I'm right outside that door, five feet away from me. I don't know if you can hear it, but people are slamming on mats. Like, it's happening. Like, it's fucking coming together, and everyone's so excited.
I'm looking forward to this because it's kind of like if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself scenario where all women's promotions, who better to really kind of like lead the charge on one than a pioneer in that entire aspect of the business.
Yeah, it's freaking exciting. People are just it's a very palpable energy in the room. And I think when it happens, when that that bell rings and everyone's together, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it in the room, and I think that's what's the best part of it. It's people can tell you like, oh, you're very good, like that was a great match, but it's a different thing to feel it, to feel the crowd rally with you and to root for you. That's the best part of indie wrestling, and for it to be women centric is like literally brings a tear to my eye. Like, this is beautiful. Like, everyone rallying together to support the girls. This is a project that people say they always want to do. Oh, support the women, we love the women, women's revolution, all this bullshit. It's actually happening. It's coming to fruition. It's happening. It's there. Either you're with us or you're a square. Like, this is it. Be a part of it now while it's happening. Like I always look back on like old cool things that have happened. Like, oh, wish I was there. That looked so cool. 90s ECW. Wish I was around for that. It's happening now. Like, the scene is happening now. You can see a flyer and say, oh, that show looks cool. I should go to that. You should go to it. Go to it now. Go see what it's about. Why do you think people are there? Why do you think people are trying hard to put on these shows? There's something very magical happening at this low, not low level, but grassroots level, art, wrestling, music, anything that's DIY. There's something very magical happening, especially in Montreal right now. The art scene is very, very hot. Young people are very hungry to get out there, and you feel it with wrestling, and especially with the girls. I think this is a really, really the beginning of something really special.
Get in on the ground floor. If you ain't sold on going to a wrestling show after that, there's something friggin' wrong with your friends. They're really, really.
I want to say something. Yeah. I want to say something. One of the things I've noticed about going to a few indie shows that I've went is that a lot of the audience members who actually go there are like, I wouldn't, they call them casuals, but like people who have not heard of wrestling, they only see them as like the big dogs, which is WWE, AEW. So the fact that I've seen a lot of people say, I just want to go to an indie show, just have a good time. And then you realize, they just have a good time. They're having fun, so much fun, to the point where they're actually discovering wrestling on their own. So I do think independent wrestling has that power to encourage people to watch professional wrestling in a meaningful and impactful manner. So yeah, it's a great start.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I'm
Dorks. We're even finishing each other's
sandwiches.
There you go. Thanks, you're in too.
I'm literally taking someone to their first live wrestling show on Thursday. Never been to see wrestling. Only thought it existed with what exists on TV, and then through seeing my social media stories recently, as I've been allowing my wrestling life to cross over into my personal life. I came out of the wrestling closet to all my friends finally. They all know what I do now. So one of my friends was like, can we try this sometime? So I was like, Mustafa Ali, Gringo Loco, Jack Cartwheel, all in a triple threat in Toronto. We're gonna go to that one. Let's go.
Yeah, tough way to break someone in, hey? Yeah. Real tough way to break someone in.
I should have taken them to like a 15 like a shindy that had 15 people max there, including the venue staff.
Oh yeah, dressed like a seat night is my favorite night at the Indies. Good question here.
John Cena cosplay night.
I like this question, Dustin. I'd have to assume, but between Lawrence and Elle, with indie shows in Montreal, is the ring announcing typically done just in French?
I can jump in on that. So it really depends the promotion. So IWS, for example, they had gotten a TV deal with RDS. That's the French sports network. So they had, for that period of time where we were filming for TV, the ring announcing was done in French. Otherwise, it depends who the ring announcer is. But for the most part, it'll be done, IWS, it'll be done in English. But it's usually a bit of both bilingual, because we have a lot of French and English talent in Montreal. And that's what makes Montreal very special as well. It is that cross-cultural thing that's going on. So within a given show, you'll get English and French for the most part. If you go out of Montreal and you go more into the regions of Quebec, it'll be a lot more French. It's rare that you'll get English, because I've done them, and it's rare that you'll get English announcing. But within Montreal, because it's more of a the city thing, you'll get it in English, but it depends who the promoter is, right? If you're an English promoter, for the most part, you'll do it in English. But we had Bucks Belmar a couple of weeks ago, great, hilarious Quebec wrestler. He jumped on to be the announcer. He did it in franglais, and that appeases everyone. That is what makes the Montreal indie scene special. You get that special, different mix of languages. Lawrence, I don't know if you want to throw in anything.
No, that was literally I was going to say pretty much verbatim. It literally does depend on the promotion and where you are geographically. Montreal is a very bilingual city, so you do get more of a bilingual announce team or broadcast, generally speaking. But also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the card for the upcoming WWS. Lufisto talked about a little bit. They have the just announced match between Mary Lee Rose, Angie Sky, and Leah Sparks, who's pretty sure this would be a rookie year, right? She was out of the IWS dojo with Sam Kelly, who just had an amazing year. Like you've got talent from Montreal and from outside Montreal, which I really like to see. There's a lot more different people I haven't gotten to see yet.
Totally. Sam Kelly, what a kid. What a year. She literally started a year ago. I still remember her debut match. Like, I can see it in my head. It's when you see girls have that moment, like she was so scared 5 minutes before going in and then killed it the whole place. Like, she had everyone in the palm of her hand. Those are those beautiful wrestling moments where you say, wrestling is silly, but wrestling can change lives. Wrestling can be love if you let it be. That's what I always say.
Yeah, like within a year, like at the last No Ring show on New Year's Eve, so there's a guy there with his own homemade Sam Kelly shirt.
That's amazing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. Like the B team.
Yeah.
That one was sorry, I shouldn't be bringing that up.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize.
That's a little.
I liked it.
Thanks, Blair.
No
It's exciting too because I know we keep referring back to IWS, but it is really great that IWS is backing it and they're being a part of it. Just like the reach that IWS has. So recently, I was just in Japan and I got to go watch some wrestling at Crackwood Hall, which is like the wrestling dream. But when we were there was a Japanese fan who had an old IWS hoodie, like one of the OG hoodies that they made in the 90s. And he had it signed by Sexy Eddie and El Generico and Mike Bailey. And he was waiting for the Green Phantom because he wanted his autograph on the sweater too. Amazing. And then we had gone to some wrestling stores within Tokyo, and they had IWS DVDs on the shelves. That's
outstanding.
That's the how far IWS goes within the indie scene. So if those girls can get on that wagon, get that momentum, I can't think of a better way for this to go. Really exciting.
Anybody you're looking forward to particularly working with, whether someone new, someone you've worked with previously?
I think all the new girls. I've been working with, Katrina Creed, Danny Leo, Kristara, Sam Kelly, like the IWS core girls. I've been with them for a while, doing all kinds of media stuff. But there's more than these 5 girls. And so I'm really excited to meet all the new girls, get to know how, get to know them. And try to get them, in the newspapers and everything. I'm just excited to make new friends, really.
Friends, we've got Elle Santo with the WWS here for a couple of more minutes. I know you got to run because, dojo responsibilities, which is the coolest way that I can put anything in wrestling ever, anywheres. So get your questions in if you've got any. Lauren, Blair, Omar,
has there
Mike?
been any talk about possible streaming online or anything like that for those of us who are unable to attend?
So this is
me.
Lou Fisto's baby. This is she holds the secrets. But I know that we're going to be filming it. It should, the first show should be filmed, proper camera setup. And that's where IWS comes in very clutch. That team is going to take care of that. And then it should be made available online. I don't think it'll be live the first show, but it'll be made available online. Fingers crossed I'll come with updates for that. And the idea is, as we do this and get better at it, with that IWS connection, to see if we can get to that point. If we can get the streaming, then we've made it. It's in the works, but it hasn't happened yet, but it's in the plans. There's nothing that Lou hasn't thought of.
It's a bit of a process, and hopefully we get there.
I got one generic question. What is your favorite women's match of all time?
My favorite women's match of all time. Hard to choose, but off the top of my head, the last time I was really just blown away by a women's match was Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair is my favorite wrestler of all time. In case you guys didn't know, I have a tattoo that kind of looks like Charlotte Flair. Yeah, she is my queen. She is my favorite wrestler ever. And her and Rhea Ripley my God, they beat the ever living shit out of each other. When you watch wrestling, of course you're supposed to think they're hurting each other, right? That's the point. But when you're watching wrestling and you're like, oh my God, I think they actually hurt each other. I was having that kind of moment while watching, and It's exciting. It was so exciting. Another one of my favorites that passed recently. I went to GCW's TOS in New Jersey back in June, and it was the first time that I'd ever gotten to see an only women's death match. So it was Casey Kirk, Sawyer Wreck, and Rina Yamashita, and they were like just beating the ever-loving hell out of each other. Oh my God, it was so violent, but it was so beautiful at the same time to see these women like step up to that level. You know, like the guys that were in the TOS tournament are freaking terrifying. Like those are the baddest of badasses. And these women get in the ring and do just as badass shit as them. It was the first time that I'd ever really seen just women take a beating like that. It was exciting. It was so exciting. And Rena ended up winning. What a fucking year for the girlies. Am I right?
Yeah.
the visual of Sawyer Wreck grinning ear to ear with blood streaming down her face is something I will never forget.
That Rina Yamashita and Casey Kirk had like a one-on-one match in GCW last year, and I was just losing my shit watching it at home because same thing. I thought someone was gonna die in that death match.
We got a question here from Dustin. How was your recent trip to Japan? You talked about it a little bit.
Japan is the best place in the world. It's actually, it was so much more amazing than I thought it would be. I'm so lucky. I got to go to Japan to watch some Big Japan wrestling, and a chance you're wearing an Insane Clown Posse shirt, Lawrence, because Violent J was on this tour.
Yeah. To be clear, it's an Insane Clown Bussy shirt.
Oh, yeah! Even better.
You had us in the first half, Lawrence, not gonna lie.
Yeah, if you love wrestling, going to Japan is worth it. Like, make it your goal, work towards it, but it's definitely a place to go. If you love wrestling, it's a different culture, you know, like when you go to a show, you know, like we're very rowdy here. That's the point. We want to elicit a reaction from the crowd. Japanese crowd, as you've seen on TV, you know, it's different. They respectfully watch the sport and they clap when they think the performers like earned the clap, you know? They don't ooh and ah for anything. You really have to impress them. And I think that was a really interesting and fun part of the experience, is learning how to be a Japanese crowd member. When does it, like, you know, accept a response and stuff like that?
The arbitrary "this is awesome" chant for like just like some chain, you know, like your start of the match chain. It's like, we don't do that here.
It's different because you really have to work for their admiration. Like here, you come out, everyone's yelling because that's just what we do. It's part of the hype. In Japan, the wrestlers are really working to get the admiration of the crowd and to get them on their side. You have to convince them that you are a good wrestler, where it's not the same thing here. It's very different, but it was very cool to be a part of.
You know, anytime I watch a New Japan match or like any Japanese wrestling, I'm convinced they always bring like notes on or something just to like carefully analyze the match. Like, okay, I really like this. I really like that. They're very like, it's like as if they're trying to review the show without actually trying to review the show, if that makes any sense. So.
It's very serious, but as much as it looks serious in the crowd, like because I was doing the merch for some of the guys there with all the Bakagai Jin, which means stupid foreigner. That's what they call them there. You know, when the crowd is around you, they're excited. You know, they're happy. They're happy to be there. But you wouldn't think that based on how you see the crowd, like when you watch it on TV. They're so respectful when they're sitting there. But you know, when you know La Foule is out, they're coming for autographs. They're coming for pictures. Like people are excited. They're yelling. They're chanting. It was such a cool experience.
Now, I know there's only one show announced, hasn't been run quite yet, but anything you can share on maybe future dates from the Women's Wrestling Syndicate?
They haven't been announced yet, but they are confirmed happening. There's at least 6 in the works.
Yeah.
So it ain't going to be a one-time. We're not a one-trick pony here. We're dedicated.
You're at least a 6-trick pony.
I'm planning a trip to Montreal for the first weekend of March for a very special birthday, and I'm so hoping that I can maybe catch another show out there that weekend.
Well, it's already announced. March 2nd is the date that IWS is going to be running a show. So Saturday, March 2nd.
That's what my trip's for. I'm coming out for IWS's anniversary, but
that's the very special birthday.
I'm hoping there will be some other wrestling around that, perhaps from other promotions that might be,
I don't know anything. You neither.
Quit dancing around it, Mike. Just tell us what you're looking for, Mike.
I really hope WWS runs a show on the IWS anniversary.
There we go.
There you go.
I hope so too. We'll see what happens.
Al, thanks for hopping on, friend. It is always, always, always wonderful to get the opportunity to chat with you. Hopefully, whether it's over here, whether it's over there, it's less cold over there, so I'll make my way. I'm flying to make you breakfast anyways, apparently. But hopefully get to see it.
Right? Brunch Gimmicks is going to bring me breakfast.
Flights and solar winds and all that sort of stuff. It was expensive this short notice, so maybe we'll get you back on here for April, and I'll get a flight booked right here after we finish this one off. There we go. It's great to see you. If the people want to keep up to date with you, whether it's Women's Wrestling Syndicate, whether it's Disco Deathmatch, you changed your Instagram handle.
I did.
Which is a great Instagram handle.
I did it for the sake of consistency, and people are mad. People are mad. My old
Not mad, disappointed.
Yeah, was Bret Hart. Which is a fun one to explain to people when they have no idea. They're like, Hart? Like, yes. Like Bret Hart. They're like, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm at
fart jokes. I approve.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm at Disco Deathmatch across all the socials. All I do is shit post. Just like to share my opinion on things. Yeah, you can find me there. And thank you very much for having me on this show. It's important that we have women's voices in as many spaces as we can. And I appreciate that you're making a deliberate effort to have me on here and have women's voices. Love Wrestling does really, really great stuff, and you guys should know that and keep up the good work. They're all very wholesome. The women love wrestling.
Thank you, Erica. We love you too. We will see you sooner rather than later. Lawrence will see you sooner rather than I'm sure all of us will. But you're welcome back anytime, Home Slice. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, friends.
Elle Santo with the Women's Wrestling Syndicate. One hell of an individual. Lawrence.
Yeah, buttons.
You're looking. No. No, you dick.
I thought that's what you meant. I thought.
That wasn't what I meant. I was gonna say you Montrealers are wonderful, but now you throw me under the bus. Elle Santo gonna give us diabetes. She's so sweet. A huge thanks to her. If you've got the opportunity, make sure you check out the Women's Wrestling Syndicate on Twitter, on every social media platform you can. But most importantly, make sure you pick up your tickets for February 4th and any of their upcoming 6 events. That's super exciting. Very, very excited for another great promotion run by some great individuals. A huge thanks to LaFisto as well, speaking of great individuals. And hello, Rip. Thank you for being patient while we conducted the interview portion. Lots of great wrestling over the last couple of days. Really, really enjoyed Impact's Hard to Kill last night. If you guys are tuning in here on Love Wrestling's YouTube channel, make sure you head over and tune in to last night's recap show. Rob Wilkins joined us, as well as Zach Ralph, this handsome Blair Pacheco, and Josh Robinson. Rip, you went for a run, and thank you for being patient through all of this, but don't be mean now. So, tune into that recap, but lots of great wrestling throughout the week. Anyone got anything they want to chat about for the next, 12 minutes? Chances are. Oh, yep, I do, JPJ. As ABBA said in their song, I do. Yes, I do.
You know, the ending of Hard to Kill pay-per-view was, dare I say, perfection. Stop.
I'm just reading the private chat here, and why do you guys keep throwing me under the bus? Like, come on.
You now owe Brunch. Please give your credit information.
I've done it. I can't remember when it was, but like a couple of months ago, Jeremy Lambert caught me on a good day, and he had tweeted out like, "Get me White Castle" or something like that, and so I did. Spencer Love is firmly for Brunch, firmly in favor of Brunch. I've never understood. Let's just like expand this a little further. I've never understood why anyone would ever limit the time of day you can eat anything. Like I had chicken noodle soup for breakfast the last couple of days just because A, my mom makes a great soup, but B, it's cold out. It's delicious. Why would I sit here and be like, oh, I need to wait until roughly 11 a.m. when early lunch? I think 11 a.m. is about an early lunch time. Like 11 a.m. Why would I wait? Right?
Look, some days you just want to crush a Belgian waffle at 5 p.m. You know, there should be no restraints for it. You know?
Time is a construct. It's breakfast somewhere in the world. Eat whatever you want, whenever you want.
Well, tell that to me.
Now we're taking that to a whole new level here, Mike.
Or if you're really desperate, you just
construct. Like, no, dude, I just want to eat a Pop-Tart at 6. Like,
maybe I want a McGriddle at 7 p.m. You know, what's so wrong about that?
Or when you're desperate, you just eat like Subway at like 5 a.m. like I did like 2-3 years ago. It was the worst era of my life. To be fair, that was also the year 2020. So, you know,
I've got a bone to pick with Subway. I don't like that it's like a full. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna waste my breath. There's wrestling here. But TNA was great. I don't know if we want to break down anything specific from there. If anybody's got anything else for the week, we've got about 10 minutes left because I've got a hard out. I am heading, and hopefully you, if you're in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada, are heading to the Randy Rosen rink for 2 p.m. puck drop against the Old Grizzlies. And I know I am. But if anybody's got anything they want to chat about, there will be very likely no watch along today because for all the right reasons. Went a little bit longer with a couple of great guests today.
When Elle was here, she was talking about like watching wrestling, and you're watching it, and you're just like, I think these two people are hurting each other right now. That was me watching Mox and Shingo on New Japan last night.
I was going to say that was me watching Hammerstone and Alexander. I quite enjoyed it.
They went hard.
Yeah, Hammerstone and Alexander was real damn good too. That slam on the apron.
It was just a fun time. I really enjoyed TNA, and it's like I said there, even when we were in the pre-show chat there, guys. Like, it's TNA/Impact. Their PLEs and pay-per-views and all of that. They've been consistently good for the last little bit, but I really, really enjoyed last night. I don't know if it's just a nostalgia pop. I don't know if it's the fact that, you know, with that, and not that there was no effort elsewhere, but you put a little bit of extra effort into this pay-per-view. I'm really excited to see where they go. You know, Nick Nemeth, I think, is going to be huge. I really do think so. Anybody who's sitting there and saying that this isn't one of the biggest signings they could have made, yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Nick Nemeth probably, and I'm assuming, but probably had offers everywhere.
And you don't even.
He's the wanted man.
You don't even.
He's the wanted man that wants to show the world. You know.
I love Dolph Ziggler. I love me Nick Nemeth.
That's the thing. That's the thing about wrestling fans that I really wish like everyone would just kind of take a step back on is preemptively predicting the demise of things, and like he just showed up last night. Give the man a chance to actually like show you what he's got up his sleeve before.
I could just imagine the thumbnail TNA downfall. I don't know. Question mark. I don't know.
I'm so excited because again, and maybe it's lofty comparisons because, well, they're lofty comparisons, but like Cody Rhodes, you look at Matt Cardona, you look at some of the people that, you know, no matter how hard or how little they were pushed in WWE, they were objectively some of the most talented people out there. And I think any wrestling fan out there would say that Dolph Ziggler, again, despite the push or lack thereof over the last little bit, like that dude is one of the most just sheerly talented pro wrestlers out there. And this is the first guy. This is the first time he's had the opportunity to hit the indies. And again, Cody Rhodes, Matt Cardona in their first chances. Like we're still watching the ball as it flies out of the park, right? So I think this is going to be a hoot. I will go that far.
There's so many going to be a hoot. There's so many fresh matchups for him too, because I mean they announced him versus Zachary Wentz, so you know that match is going to bang. Having him against Josh Alexander, having him against Speedball. I mean, like there are so many options, and it's going to be fresh matches for all the fans and bringing in new fans. So, I mean, I like the way that they did it last night. Having him just show up right at the end of the show was fantastic. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I like especially feel that TNA has like a great track record, especially recently, the last few years, of helping like talent that either has just been dropped, or been stuck in the PC, like a Deonna Purrazzo, and just giving them the space and giving him and mixing with the right talent, that their talent pool is just crazy, and letting him grow. And there's a reason why Deonna Purrazzo is a big star who now wants to be both, who had both WWE and AEW interested in her now. You've got Trinity, who's like gave her the time and space. So I'm sure at a time where it was like difficult for her, like leaving the company and leaving where like her family is, and giving her space, I'm sure helping fall in love with wrestling again. And like you've also like, I think this is a great move, and clearly they've done something right that they were able to bring in a Dolph Ziggler, who could have probably go to AEW with his brother, but like going here, he's gonna have the space to shine. He's gonna have a little more freedom than in WWE, and he's still gonna be able to probably work independence and do his want. Like, this is a great thing, and the TNA hasn't gotten the thing that they've had such a great track record of helping people build up, and like sometimes sadly move on to other companies, but like they definitely have a like they've like acquired a great talent pool to help build that.
You said you said Trinity's name. Her and Jordan Grace, their match last night was stupid good too.
A blast.
Yeah.
Just a blast. Jordan Grace is incredible, man.
Yeah.
Just incredibly good.
That whole like strength sequence at the end for the finish, where like Jordan Grace got up while she's got Trinity wrapped around her and turned it into a fucking like German suplex. Oh my god, that was crazy.
Yeah, excellent show last night.
Trinity's just amazing, you know. Yeah. Let me stop with the puns.
there is someone I feel very comfortable putting money on as a surprise Rumble entrant.
Yes.
Don't ever bet on wrestling, and if you're ever going to gamble, please do so responsibly. But if I was ever going to gamble, because I do so responsibly, I'd feel very comfortable putting money on her showing up in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I really would.
This would have been.
And if not, then cool. It probably means that she's out doing something more badass.
Yeah,
like it really is. But I don't know. It feels very end. I don't know. That match last night felt very end of a run. Now we'll see what happens tonight at Snake Eyes and the tapings and that sort of stuff. But it felt like a really nice send off to Trinity, who frankly killed it through the 6, 7, 8 months that she was there. What a blast!
Yeah. No, I thought she had a great run. Yeah. I mean, being the Knockouts champ, it's a hell of a division. She was able to put her mark on it, and she's coming out. I mean, she went in there, you know, being, hey, you're released from your contract. She went there, she showed what she could do, and she's coming out looking even better than when she got there. So, I mean, for her, it's a huge opportunity with whatever is going to be next for her.
I think what's next for her, and I see the Rumble, I'm fairly certain of. I don't know what's like. Do you put her with the Bloodline in some way? Like maybe not directly with, but is she Jimmy's heater? I don't know. Stay tuned, as they say here in professional wrestling. But we only got a couple of minutes left to. Well, you know what? I can take off if you guys want to keep going. I suppose I'm not your dad's. So if you want to keep going, I'm leaving here in 2 minutes. But great show last night. Looking very forward to the next couple of weeks. The Royal Rumble is 2 weeks away. I want to get a surprise entrant on that subject while we're talking Trinity / potentially a return to Naomi. Give me one men's, one women's Royal Rumble entrant before at least I take off. Blair, I'm starting with you. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, I'm going to say for one of the men, we're going to get Braun Breaker in there.
Okay.
I hope we can use NXT wrestlers as a surprise because, I mean,
I will allow it.
Yeah, so I'll say Braun Breaker, and then for the women, I say we get another Mickie James appearance.
She did just sign with OVW. It is a feeder system.
Hardcore country.
Oh, that was so cool. I still love it.
I love it.
We got a couple answers in the chat. Feel free to take them. Obviously, I'm not limiting anybody. JPJ thinking AJ Lee, someone who I might put money on. She's the kind of person that like you put money on because the odds are too good, not because I'm all that confident. You know.
Bet a little to win a lot.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I'd throw a crisp $5 on AJ Lee to enter the Rumble.
Yeah, he'd make a couple $100, I'm sure.
That's exactly it. So and Mark's coming in with the honky tonk man. Is Honky alive?
See, that's my problem.
I think so.
I was gonna make some jokes about like just throw out some random name from the '90s, and I'm like, I don't know who's alive or dead anymore.
The Kiss Demon, Dale Torborg.
Hey,
I will advocate for this until the end of time.
You know,
if I'm ever out at a wrestling show and God of Thunder unironically hits, I'm gonna cry. You better believe I will cry.
I say it every.
I'll pay for that meet and greet.
Is he from Edmonton or something? Like,
absolutely not. He's a Kiss demon.
I'm just.
What
like,
else do you want? He's a Kiss demon.
If I speak, I will get in trouble.
It's like, hey, here's a casket, or here's a Kiss casket. Here's a wrestler, or here's a Kiss wrestler.
I say it every year, but like my one surprise entrance, I want every year is Ken Shamrock.
I think it may happen. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I think this year it's gonna have a higher chance. I think there's a higher chance that he's gonna be.
Didn't he sign like the Legends contract with them?
Yeah.
I think it's more likely he's on the cover of WWE 2K25 than he is in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Look, I have one surprise entrant, but it's actually two surprise entrants because they come as a pair.
The Godwins?
Doink and Dink.
Zack Ryder and Broski Jimmy Lloyd.
The Oddities?
Broski Jimmy Lloyd.
I want Broski Jimmy Lloyd.
I don't know. I'd be shocked. And like for all the right reasons, I'd be shocked if Cardona's back in the WWE for like years.
Oh no,
he is too good. He is too good at the business of independent wrestling. Like that's just it. That's all.
Yeah. I don't have a good answer, so that's my fun answer.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
X-Pac for the men's. I think that'd be neat. I would really love to see some X-Pac in there. Has he done anything like inside of a ring since like that GCW show?
No, and he tweeted that he can basically do he literally tweeted like a couple days ago that he can basically do everything. He feels great. He's like my body doesn't look as good as I'd like it to for a Rumble, so you probably won't see me this year.
Then you know what you do?
I put some money on I put some money on show a t-shirt.
You know what you do? You know what you do? If you're worried about how the body's looking, cover it up there in a nice blue singlet. Take a month and grow a mullet out, and we get the 1, 2, 3 kid back in the room.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your solution.
I thought you were going to say...
You don't want to come out there shirtless and pumped? Then come out there singleted and pumped.
I thought you were going to say, call our friends at RK Athletics. RK Athletics out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Great
job
on all social media platforms at RK Athletics 1, whether that be X, Facebook, or Instagram.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Twitter. I'm trying to at least transition that over there a little bit. Victoria and Ty Dillinger, good shouts there.
Yeah.
Dillinger would be a neat little shout.
Yeah.
Ty Dillinger would be an absolute, again, excuse my language, but I think he would be a hoot to have in the Rumble.
Gangrel.
Yeah.
Gangrel, I've been hoping for years.
Yeah,
now, that being said,
rude.
so I used to like predict Gangrel every year to the point that now I feel burned and I won't. So I feel like that would be like the year. Same sort of thing, going back to betting and betting responsibly. Every year, you throw money on like a dark horse to win the Stanley Cup. And for like 4 years in a row, I bet on the St. Louis Blues. And the year I didn't, they won the Cup.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, tough. So I threw $20 on the Oilers about 2 months ago. So we're looking pretty good there, friends.
I got a name for a women's Royal Rumble surprise. What about Eve Torres? That could be nice.
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe? Does she wrestle things anymore? Does she do a wrestle?
I think she's a yoga instructor, I think. I could be wrong. Or fitness instructor. That's the last time I checked, but it's been a while.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since the last time you checked, and I bet you it's still more recently than I have. But either way, I'm going to take off. I am going to leave it. Who are we taking for a men's surprise entrant? No, I'm going to stick with the Kiss Demon Dale Torborg.
Yeah.
For the women's, Carmella.
Mella is money.
Yeah.
Mella is money. Yeah. Because how old's Dimitri now? As weird of a question as that is, it feels like it's been a long enough time since her and Corey Graves had their child. At least I would hope so. Carmella's rad. Whenever she gets the opportunity to come back, I'd be psyched. It just feels like that'd be a neat little tie-in. Are you guys going to keep going? Do we want to plug stuff and all go away? Or
yeah, I think it's for plug stuff. We'll wrap it up.
Just frig off. Well, fine. Lawrence, plug stuff. Plug your stuff. I'll plug our stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at
Kurt. Did not coordinate the producer role today.
Yeah. You can follow me at KurtCNDG on Instagram and Twitter, and at Cheap Pop Show. I'm going to be working on stuff this week. Hopefully start getting episodes back out in a couple weeks. I've got a bunch of ideas. It's going to be changing a little bit. But yeah, we a lot of exciting stuff for Cheap Pop. You can follow that on its socials to get your updates. And you can catch me here every Sunday on the Brunch Gimmick.
Blair, where can the people find you, friend?
You can find me on all social media at Graymaker Wrestling Podcast. You can find me here every Saturday on Love Wrestling doing 4 Exposure with my good friend Pluggo as we take a look at the world of independent wrestling. So check for that. I dropped a podcast with Cavron Canyon and one coming out this week as well with Josh Cheeks Holiday, local wrestler here who is really great.
I like Cheeks.
He's awesome.
Omar, the people, where can they find you?
If you cannot find me fighting my life for my internet connection, you can find me on the site formerly known as Twitter at Irma the Player Guy, and follow my podcast, Best Things About Pro Wrestling This Month, where we talk about some of the best things about pro wrestling in any particular month. So it's just there. Just follow me on the site formerly known as Twitter and YouTube, by the way, Best Things About Pro Wrestling This Month. So subscribe. I'm almost at 200. So,
pew! See, 2 thumbs up, 1 per 100. Mike, where can the people find you, my friend?
Every Wednesday on Fightful Overbooked at 6 p.m., hanging out with Righteous Reg, interviewing, and just anybody and everybody from the independent wrestling world. This week, we are joined by the best freelance broadcast talent in all of professional wrestling, Veda Scott. I'll stand on those words.
I got a lot of time for that, Veda Scott.
And the following week, we'll be wrapping up January with Mason D. Madden and Mansoor, collectively known as MXM. So we'll have tag team interview with them. That'll be cool. And then February, we have unannounced plans, but they're very, very cool. So just follow me on Twitter, Mike from Indeed. Follow the podcast at Indeed Podcast on TikTok. I, started making some TikToks. Doing the vertical video shit.
Doing the talk of tech.
Yeah, doing the talk of the tick. Also, personal plug. If you'd like me to make you some TikToks, pay me. My DMs are open.
Give Mike money. Money now, please.
Mike, money. And for myself, but not just for myself. For all of us here at Love Wrestling, you can follow us wherever podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or awesome content is created by awesome people at Love Wrestling CA. Unfortunately, next week, because I had committed, and obviously when things get in the way, notwithstanding, I had committed to being on every episode of Brunch this year unless there were just plans that I was unable to move. Now, unfortunately, next week, I will be unable to be on the Brunch Gimmick, as I will be busy loading our wrestling ring into Rogers Place as we perform the first ever live independent wrestling show in Rogers Place history. WWE's been there, AEW's been there, and as of next Sunday, Love Pro Wrestling will have been there. You can head to Ticketmaster for tickets to that. They are still available. It is for the 4 p.m. puck drop against the Saskatoon Blades. But if you want to check us out at our regular home, the Rec Room, South Edmonton Common, Love Pro Wrestling returns for 2 nights, January 25th, for our 10th collaboration. Speaking of Ty Dillinger, with the Clandestine Wrestling Society. And the following night, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling LPW 22. You can pick tickets up for that at Tixr, TIXR.com/Love Wrestling. There are less than 30 tickets available left for that, so make sure you pick them up if you want to check out Vert Vixen, Von Vertigo, Zoe Sager, Jack Pride, Michael Richard, Blaze Lumberjack, Larry Woods, and come and see Lawrence and Blair and JPJ. He's just not on screen right now. But come and see all of us live at the Rec Room. There's going to be a couple of people flying in. Mark, if you want to check out the Oil Rumble matches, as we do for all of our out of Rec Room events or our Clandestine Society shows on the Thursday, we're going to be putting one up there on YouTube as a free little teaser for everybody. But the rest you can pick up on patreon.com/Love Wrestling CA. For Omar, for Mike, for Lawrence, for Blair, and for May Spencer Love, thank you for tuning into this edition of the Brunch Gimmick. We'll be back here next week. Well, they'll be back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you then, friends. Rip, I'm trying to press a button. Lawrence, I need you.
And
Rip,
I got
Lawrence,
you.
I need you. Thank you.